Good day, Chief here for Chief Tells Tales. I'm in Germany. It's winter time, and Snickers that you saw previously in my videos got to go to Germany with me, and he got to experience his first snowfall because while we were staying in the guest housing in Darmstadt, it snowed, and I took him outside and he did that. You know, I don't like walking on this cold white stuff, so it was quite hilarious to see that. I had just left Alamo Station, and I was delayed, as I pointed out in several videos ago, and over the Christmas break, or before the Christmas break, we had a soldier that died in the barracks. And the weird thing is that he had just left where I was headed. So here I am now in Germany, and this young soldier had died in the barracks. That's all I'm going to say. It's all I know. And I'm going to the same exact section, or I'm going to take charge of the section that he belonged to, which was CMD, Collection, Management, and Dissemination. And I get there, and when one of my civilians, workers, she asked me, she goes, "Oh, did you know Specialist so-and-so?" I said, "Not personally, but however, I talked to his sergeant that was in charge of him over where I just came from." And I go, "Why?" She goes, "Well, he used to work here." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" I said, and then I showed her the bulletin from this guy's memorial service that we just recently had before I just flew over here. And I said, "Who should get these?" I brought two of them. And she goes, "Well, the NCOIC should get one because he was a good friend with him, and one of the other specialists should get the other." Well, both those individuals were on leave or something still, or so after they both came back to work, the specialist almost cried when I handed it to him. And the sergeant, or the NCOIC staff sergeant, I can't remember his name, he, like, "Thank you, Chief, you know, this." At first he said, "Well, no, you should give this to specialists." I said, "I got two of them." I said, I was told to give you one and to give the specialist the other. So I did that. And, of course, I got asked a million questions. I'm like, "Look, the only thing I know is he died in his room. I don't know of what." I said, "I don't even know if that's been released yet or not." And I said, it's not my information to tell. So here I am in Germany. Like I said, my first tour of duty was back in Berlin before the wall fell down, and I've been trying to get back to Germany since throughout my military career. I kept asking every now and then, was told no, no, no. And now finally I got it, and I went to the 66th Military Intelligence Brigade, which kept shrinking. I mean, it used to be big, and then it shrunk and absorbed other bits and pieces of units, because the smaller the Army got, the smaller everybody else gets, because everybody gets downsized. And it's just not like we just cut out an infantry unit. Nope, you got to take care of all the assets that support them and stuff like that, so everybody loses kind of equally. So throughout my military career, I would see smaller and smaller and smaller sections of military intelligence units, and we were still doing the same output when we were many. And like I said, we'd always get praised by colonels, 1 stars and 2 stars. "You guys are really doing a lot with what you got." And we're like, "Well, we have no choice. We have to." It was never really a burden throughout my career to give what was expected out of me and my troops. Now here I get not very many soldiers. My sponsor's actually got a section, but his is due to phase out after he leaves, because he's like due to leave, I think, within the year. He ships to the States, and his section is supposed to go bye-bye at the same time. So his soldiers, if any of them stayed beyond his tour of duty, they would just be blended in elsewhere, absorbed by other things. So I've had half civilians and half soldiers working for me because due to all the intel assets or intel collections, not assets. It didn't have any assets again. Keep saying that. You know, it's like, Chief, what can you bring to the table? I said, sir, I have no assets. I can only reach out and grab reports and information from other sources. I don't have an asset to give you direct support. And that hurt me throughout my career. I'll explain that in the tail end of my videos. Yes, I still have my November beard. I don't know if I'm going to get rid of it yet or not. I'm going to see if it keeps on growing. So I'm working in Darmstadt, and Darmstadt is starting to shut down as a military establishment. While I am there, they will close down everything. They will slowly phase out the housing. I'm living off post, and I've got the best place, and they'll close down the commissary. They'll close down the PX. They actually closed down our base. We actually had a place to buy gasoline. I'll talk about that maybe later in another video. But I was still expected to work in Darmstadt regardless, and later on they had to bust the soldiers in. So I'm like, glad I got my place. Now I got a great place. I didn't want to live in officer housing because I had all my furniture and plus some for beyond being a single person now since my kids are no longer with me. I had all their stuff. Had to ship some of that home. But I had their beds that they had at my house and all that. So they're like, yeah, you probably don't want to pay storage for 2 or 3 years, however long you're here. At the same time, and no, we can't ship part of it home and all that. So looked at one place, went into housing, and they're like, we've got the perfect place for you. Now, the only problem is I did not have a car, because to take a car from America to Germany, it either had to be paid for or you made arrangements with your bank or financial institution. Yes, I will pay off the car while I have it in Germany, because yes, some idiots have taken vehicles over to Germany, quit paying on them, and then sold them while they're in Germany without a title, and left them there, and of course come back, and it's like, then they would buy a new car. How they would get financing, I don't know, when you kind of foreclosed on a car, so to speak. I don't even know if you can do that, and I guess you could. So I went and got a Jeep Liberty while I'm there. So I put that on order right away. And of course, I had to make it, since I designed it from the ground up, and had to wait for that. So I was living out, but my sponsor was like, "Hey, I don't mind picking you up." He picked me up for PT, and then would take me home. And then I got the bus. I can go home on the. No. I had a real good sponsor until I got my vehicle. He was like, "Hey, I'll be your wheels." He had to pick me up for all the hail and farewells that we did too. So I had an excellent sponsor. Like I said, he had to wait 6 months with this bag of kitty litter and cat food that he had to buy, expecting me in July. Had to wait till January until I got there. So my place in Crumstadt. Crumstadt is a small village west of Darmstadt. And my house was, or my apartment, or my floor, I guess I should say, was on the western side of the town too. And in Europe, you got a ground floor, which is 0. That's the ground floor. And then the what we call the second floor here in America, that's the first floor. So I had the entire first floor of this basement, ground floor, and first floor house that my German landlords had built for themselves, but decided that they didn't want to move in there. So they were still living in their other house, which was just as gorgeous, because I went there one time. And, Germans know how to build good houses. So I had 3 balconies because the sun would come up and it would be my kitchen would have the sunlight. And then noon, it would be my middle section of the house. It had a balcony. My kitchen had a balcony. And then in the evening, it would be where my bedroom was and the sun. And then I had open field behind my house. I lived in a cul-de-sac. And then I had an American couple with their 2 children. They were on the ground floor, and they were the ones responsible for mowing the yard, not me. Plus, he was like a sergeant first class, and he was like, "Chief, I'm not gonna demand that you mow the grass while we're here." And I said, "Well, if you want me to, it's no big deal." But the good thing I like about the German culture was that every 2 weeks or at least once a month we had to sweep our street. You had to make sure your street was clean. I wish we would adopt that here in America, because I still do it here where I live, here in San Antonio, and I know some people, when they drive by and see the old man sweeping his street, they're thinking, what an idiot. Just let the rain take it away, let the wind take it away, but sometimes it just blows it right in. I accumulate trash in my front yard from my neighbors. It'll blow in and it stays in my yard. It doesn't go any further. So I'm always doing police call in my front yard. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Germany. So I had a gorgeous house. And one time, Snickers, when my mom came over, I'll talk about that later, but she came over and we left the cat enough food, enough water. And you have to keep a window crack in Germany, or in the mornings, they'll let out it's a tradition from the old coal burning days where you let the fresh air and the bad air go out, fresh air come in. But it was a high window, and my cat would get up on the roof because you could easily get on the roof from all 3 or 2 of the balconies. But he was dumb that he wouldn't come back through the window. So I would drive home, and then, my cat's on Snickers is on the ceiling or on the roof of the house, and I would just laugh at him because I would go to the middle balcony where easy. So I'm in Germany, ready to start. Like I said, I've got CMD section, but I'll only be there for about 1 year until I still be assigned to the 66, but I will be attached to 7th Army. I'll have to look. But that's it for this week. I'm in Germany. I'm happy. It's the middle of winter. There's snow on the ground. I haven't seen snow myself in a long time, since Washington and South Korea. So I'm happy. Cat's happy. It's the 2 of us. Heated tile floors in my German house. Wish I had them here. It was so nice to wake up in the morning and put your bare feet on a tile floor, and the tile would be warm because the hot water heater is running the water through the tile floors. Chief out. Remember, freedom is not free. Thank a vet. Sleep with a vet. Kiss a vet. You know what to do. Chief out.